This is Coach Lee, and I'm going to talk to you about the power of walking away. And I'm particularly talking about the power of walking away when someone has broken up with you who you love. So this is not just, I want to walk away because I don't want to be with this person anymore. This is when someone you want to be with says, I don't want to be with you anymore. That there's power, tremendous power in walking away. So the first thing that walking away does after you've been dumped is it prevents your value from going down. Because if you stay, your value and your level of attractiveness to this other person will decrease. And the reason is because you're showing you will stay even when you're not wanted. And so you actually become a nuisance, because when something is not wanted and yet it remains, it is a nuisance. It's a pain. It's like a mosquito or a fly swirling around your ear, making noises, bothering you, landing. It's something that the other person doesn't want there. And so you actually make your attraction go down even more by overstaying your welcome, because you allow yourself to exist as a nuisance. And so they associate all these negatives with you. And so the best thing you can do when you've been broken up with, because the attraction has fallen, that's most breakups, the attraction has fallen to where certain issues matter more than they should or more than they would if attraction was high. And the best thing you can do is walk away. And that's so that you don't exist in this state of lower attractiveness, because that's important if you want to get your ex back. You need to leave so that at least it doesn't get worse, but so that the potential exists so that it can get better. Number two is that if you do not walk away, if you stay, you will teach them that you will stay. And what I mean by that is that you teach them that you will endure a breakup where they just tell you they don't want to be in your life anymore. You will endure abuse. You will endure mistreatment. You will endure this other person not wanting to be with you. And it's really a tone-deaf thing to do, because if you knew how the other person really wanted to be away from you in that moment, and we're going to get into that in just a minute, and how what they think is not necessarily reality. But if you stay when they don't think they want you there, you actually lower your level of attraction even more. And so you need to get away. You need to give them the breakup if you want to get your ex back, and if you just want to act in the best interest of yourself. Before I get into the third way that walking away is very powerful, take a quick second and subscribe to this channel so you can be notified when I have more videos like this. So number three, if you do not walk away and if you stay, then your ex has no negative consequences of the breakup. And so there's no reason for them to want to get back together with you. So if you think about it, the reason your ex would want to get back together with you after breaking up with you is if they did not like the breakup, is if they actually had to experience it and realize they didn't want the breakup, they wanted you. Or else, what's their motivation to get back together? Because if you're right there, there's really nothing for them to do, because you are still there. If you disappear, if you leave, and they have to come face to face with the possibility that this could be a mistake and that they could lose you because of it. Not just that the breakup's a mistake and that they want to be with you, but that they could actually want to be with you and you could not be gotten. That is key. They must sit with that. They must feel that. They must feel it in their stomach. It must preoccupy their mind to where they say, not only am I worried and concerned that this is a mistake, but what if on top of that, on top of me having made this mistake of breaking up with this person, now it's possible that mistake might lead to me not ever being able to get them back. That's what they have to come face to face with. And there is no other way for them to experience that and be in that moment and realize that except for you walking away. If you don't leave, they cannot come back, because you won't allow them to leave in the process. Shortly after I had become a teenager, so 13, 14 years old, I brought my basketball over to a neighbor's house, and we were all going to play. But being timid, because I was surrounded by older guys, I didn't know for sure if I was playing. I wanted to. I brought the basketball so we could all play. And so we were kind of picking teams, and they mentioned a few names. I didn't really hear mine. And I just said, am I playing? And one of the guys who was in his early 20s. He kind of pulled me aside and he said, Lee, let me tell you something. If you bring the ball, you're playing. And if they're not going to let you play after you brought the ball, you go home and you take the ball with you. Maybe it sounds a little childish. I'll take my toys and I'll go home. But it's actually not. It's respecting yourself. Now, he didn't suggest that I throw a fit, and that's not what I'm suggesting. But the idea is that if I'm going to participate in this and bring something of value, I'm not going to be mistreated. I'll quietly just go, and you guys can figure it out, and I'll go live my life. There's nothing immature about that. There's nothing wrong or egotistical about that. It's just simply choosing to respect yourself, and not in some boastful, arrogant way where you act like you run the streets or that you have more value than anyone else. It's just a matter of fairness. It's like if you work, but your paycheck goes to someone else without you having any power or say over it. That's not fair. And this is a similar situation because basically you are being devalued by being broken up with because you're being pushed aside, you're being tossed aside like crumbs off a table. And by walking away, you are refusing to be devalued. If you stayed, you would exist in that devaluement. You would exist as this person who is brushed aside and doesn't know they need to leave because they don't understand how, first of all, it's not fair to them that their value would be lowered like that, and yet they just stay, getting nothing out of it, only making it worse for themselves. And so what you need to do is not give them the best of both worlds, which is they break up with you and yet they still have you just in case they want you. You're right there. Not only is it annoying them, but it devalues you. So I'm going to tell you how to walk away. Before I do, get some more information on my emergency breakup kit. There's a link to it in the description below, or you can go to myexbackcoach.com and you can get the emergency breakup kit, which can help you get your ex back. Here's how you regain your power, your attractiveness, and your value. Number one, you do not participate in the breakup. What I mean by that is that when you start referring to it as a breakup or this breakup, you're referring to it in the present tense as though it's still happening, as though you are existing inside of it. When you leave it, it's past tense now. We broke up. There was a breakup. But you are living outside of it. You're walking away from it. And so by making the breakup past tense, you are not participating in it anymore. And by refusing to participate, you take away their power because it's over. They can do no more. And you are refusing to be devalued anymore. The next thing you do, you show them you can live without them. And that involves you using the no contact rule. You do not involve yourself. You do not initiate yourself in their life anymore. They have said they don't want to be with you. And even if they've offered friendship, that is a lowball offer you will not accept. You will walk away. You will call their bluff, whatever you want to call it. Because even if they don't come back, it's still best for you. But this is the best chance of getting them back. You show them you can live without them. That's the only way they can know that there's risk of losing you and that they better get their act together and do something or they are going to lose you. And if they don't really fear that they could lose you, then they won't feel the pressure to do that and to try to get back together with you. And you may say, well, why would they care if they lost me? They don't want to be with me. It's conceptual. In their mind, they don't. But let them experience it and really see. That's where I have the benefit of 20 years and seeing so many breakups and seeing that so many times people think they want to break up. And they have to actually experience it and live in it, and they realize they don't, and they come back. Walking away also shows them that you won't clean up their mess. And so they don't expect that if they break up with you, that you'll do all the work to get them back. So you're not programming them to think, well, I can just break up with them. So if you took it back together, in other words, and it goes badly one day, you have an argument or something like that, they don't think, well, I'll just break up with them, and they'll come back. They'll fix it. They'll fix what I broke. You cannot have them or anyone else thinking you will clean up their mess. It's childish to think that you could do something awful, break something, cause this problem, and somebody else will fix it. It's somebody else's responsibility. That is the most immature thing that I can think of. You won't pay their way. They break up with you, they've got to come to you and fix it. Not only is that the most effective way because they actually are watching themselves come back to you and doing the work of getting you back, which actually makes you more attractive. And that's pretty interesting. But it keeps your value high and it prevents it from happening again, where they see you as someone that they can't mess around with, they can't treat poorly, which is really just a fair thing to do and to expect. And so you're not being higher than them. You're not looking down on them, but you are expecting to be treated as someone of value, attractiveness, and as an equal. And that's not asking too much. And so that's why sometimes you need to take your toys and go home. It's the most powerful thing you can do, and it gives you the best chance of getting them back. This is Coach Lee, and as always, thank you for watching.